it shouldn't have taken an avalanche of outrage from across the country to stop Silicon Valley from launching an effort to silence conservatives, like the majority leader of the United States Senate in the first place. Now, the Trump campaign, the RNC, and several GOP groups had all threatened to stop ad buying on Twitter until it addressed the bias. This pressure seems to have done the trick. So will this be a model for dealing with Twitter in the future? What do you think?
Well, look, I think the problem is that this is by not at all the first instance in which it has become clear that Twitter has a serious political bias. For 2 years, we've been talking about this. All kinds of people, including Ronna McDaniel, and also a lot of the Republicans in Congress who were pursuing the investigation into how the Mueller probe got started, have been targeted by Twitter unfairly. This was an outrage, and I'm glad that it's been resolved. But I think the bigger issue, David, is what is Washington, what is the president going to be able to do about political bias here? Because this has become a major news disseminator, and to have it be really politically biased is really a problem, I think.
Well, look, let's hope money talks. Twitter is a corporation.
Yeah.
They like making money. But I must tell you, the fact that they even say they're non-biased when they're worried about McConnell and violence, all you got to do is go on Twitter, and we were talking about earlier, and look up Quentin Tarantino and his Pulp Fiction and his movies. Go look at the death threats that are constant on Twitter. I mean, literal death threats. There are terror organizations on Twitter.
Not to mention Louis Farrakhan.
Yeah, look, the problem is they are about who they like and who they dislike, and it's obvious. And I'm hoping maybe this moves the needle. I absolutely doubt it.
All right. Well, Twitter did put up a response. I'm not gonna bother to read the whole thing. It's frankly a lot of gobbledygook. But Jonas, it does seem like the market's working now, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's an issue here. I just don't know if it's a Republican or liberal issue. I mean, look, the head of my gym just did a fundraiser for, the president, and people are freaking out too. But it's a private. He owns a business. He can give money whenever he wants to. I don't have to be a member of the gym. But the only issue is that there's two issues. Twitter is so big that it's not like there's another gym. Like maybe Republicans need to start Twitter 2 Electric Boogaloo, but right now there's one Twitter. And it is becoming, when does the government step in and control it? Because they're limited. In general, I think they should control it. But this is an issue. And I will say I'm more concerned not about, it's the non-Mitch McConnells, it's the non-celebrities. It's the me
That's
on
true.
Twitter. If I posted that, I would be probably blocked forever because no one's going to care that I'm blocked. And that's actually the concern. These celebrities already get a better treatment than everybody else on Twitter with the checks and with there was a thing we talked about on the show recently where they get to approve. They can say certain things because it's important, because that person's important, so they get to say something. But the ordinary people can't. I think that's actually the issue with Twitter, not so much the right-wing versus left-wing argument.
Bruce?
Well, I think Mitch should be a little more worried about the Moscow Mitch hashtag, for one, but everybody should be concerned. Twitter is a private business, so they can do what they want. And everybody should be leery of the fact that even though it says social media, none of these social media outlets have editors like the newspapers that David and I worked for back in the day where there's checks or balance, and people need to realize that. But there have been liberals banned. The Krasenstein twins hate Trump, and Trump gets his message out on Twitter. 62 million people, and then the stenographers known as the White House press corps turn it into stories and write down everything he says. So I think there is some balance there, but people need to understand sort of buyer beware or tweet beware, because this is a private company and they can do what they want.